the bear who carried war on his shoulders. The story of Wojtek, the soldier bear. On the side of Polish transport trucks during the Italian campaign, there was a peculiar symbol, a silhouette of a massive bear carrying a heavy artillery shell. Most assumed it was a metaphor for strength. They were wrong. It was a portrait. War is usually remembered in gray tones: mud, smoke, fear, and the heavy silence that follows explosions. But every once in a while, history surprises us with something so strange and warm that it feels almost made up. In the middle of World War II, among tired soldiers marching across deserts and battlefields, there walked a bear. Not just any bear, but a soldier. His name was Wojtek. A cub in a broken world. Wojtek's story begins far from the battlefield, in 1942 in the mountains of Iran. He was just a small, helpless cub when soldiers of the Polish army found him with a young boy. The boy explained that hunters had killed the cub's mother. Alone and too young to survive, the little bear had only one chance left. So the soldiers did something unexpected. They adopted him. At first, Wojtek was barely strong enough to eat properly. He drank condensed milk from a vodka bottle, because that was the only thing available. It was a strange beginning, but somehow it suited him. From the very start, Wojtek lived like a soldier, just a slightly fuzzier one. Growing up like a human, almost. As Wojtek grew, he didn't just live among soldiers, he became one of them. He learned by watching. If soldiers marched, he marched. If they saluted, he saluted. If they drank, well, he definitely learned that too. Wojtek developed a taste for beer and would happily accept a bottle, like it was the most natural thing in the world. He even smoked cigarettes, though he preferred chewing them rather than lighting them. He loved wrestling with the soldiers. For them, it was fun. For him, it was also fun, but he usually won, easily. At night, when the cold crept into their tents, Wojtek would curl up next to the soldiers like a giant breathing blanket. And strangely enough, no one seemed to question it. In a world falling apart, a bear had become something steady, something comforting. Not a pet, a soldier. When the Polish unit prepared to travel by ship to Italy, a problem appeared. No animals allowed. Now, for most people, this would have been the end of the story. But these soldiers were not most people. They had marched with Wojtek, laughed with him, survived with him. Leaving him behind was not an option. The British command had a strict rule. No pets or mascots were allowed on military transport ships. So the Polish soldiers did what soldiers often do best. They found a loophole. If Wojtek wasn't a pet, then what was he? A soldier, of course. With official papers, a rank, and even a service number, he stopped being a problem and became part of the army. Wojtek was given a rank, a serial number, and papers, making him a real soldier in the Polish army. He was no longer just along for the journey, he belonged. The Battle of Monte Cassino. In 1944, one of the most intense battles of World War II took place in Italy, the Battle of Monte Cassino. This was not a place for jokes or strange stories. It was brutal, loud, and unforgiving. But this is where Wojtek did something unforgettable. Watching the soldiers carry heavy crates of ammunition, each weighing roughly 100 to 120 pounds, Wojtek stepped forward. While it took 4 grown men to struggle with a single heavy crate of artillery shells, Wojtek, still growing, already weighing around 200 pounds, moved them with the ease of a man carrying bread. Amid the deafening thunder of the guns, the bear worked like a silent shadow, lifting, carrying, stacking, never flinching at the explosions that shook the ground beneath him. No one had trained him to do this. No one had ordered him. He simply saw his friends working and decided to help, and he didn't drop a single crate. For his service, Wojtek was promoted, from private to corporal. Yes, a bear outranked some humans. More than a mascot. Wojtek wasn't just useful, he was important. War drains people. It wears them down until they forget what normal life feels like. But Wojtek reminded the soldiers of something simple: joy. He made them laugh. He gave them something to protect. That wasn't just an idea or a country, but a friend. In one story, an Arab spy slipped into the camp and hid inside a bathhouse, waiting for the right moment. Instead, he found Wojtek. The bear wandered in as casually as if he owned the place, which in a way he did. The man didn't run. He didn't fight. He screamed, loud enough to alert the entire camp. It turns out espionage becomes far less appealing when the mission ends with a bear standing upright in front of the intruder. The captured spy reportedly gave up valuable information soon after. Wojtek didn't need to understand war. He just needed to be there, and that was enough. Service record, Corporal Wojtek. Unit, 22nd Artillery Supply Company, 2nd Corps, Poland. Rank, Corporal. Service years 1943 to 1945. Known for carrying artillery shells at Monte Cassino. Favorite rations: beer, honey, condensed milk. Special skills: wrestling, saluting, boosting morale. After the war. When the war ended in 1945, the soldiers were sent to Scotland. Wojtek went with them. For a while, things felt almost peaceful. He became popular with locals, greeted by smiles instead of gunfire. But eventually the army was disbanded, and this is where the story becomes quieter and a little sadder. Wojtek was moved to the Edinburgh Zoo. By then, he was no longer the growing young bear of the battlefield. He had become enormous, eventually weighing close to half a ton, nearly 100 pounds and standing over 1.8 meters tall. At first glance, it might seem like a good ending. Safe, comfortable, no more war. But something was missing. He no longer marched, no longer wrestled, no longer belonged to a unit. Yet when former soldiers visited him, everything changed. They would call out to him in Polish, and he would respond immediately, recognizing the voices of the only family he had ever known. In those moments, he wasn't just a bear in a zoo. He was a veteran in exile, just like many of the soldiers who could never return to a free Poland. The final chapter. Wojtek died in 1963 at the age of 21. He had crossed continents. He had marched with soldiers. He had carried war on his shoulders. And somehow he had made it a little more human. Today, statues of Wojtek stand in Poland, Scotland, and beyond. In them, he is often shown carrying a shell, just as he once did without being asked. Why Wojtek still matters. It would be easy to treat Wojtek's story as just a strange footnote in history, a funny tale about a bear who drank beer and went to war. But it's more than that. Wojtek reminds us that even in the darkest times, kindness survives, that friendship can form in the most unexpected ways, and that sometimes the ones who carry the heaviest burdens don't even realize how important they are. He didn't understand politics. He didn't know what war meant. But he understood something far more powerful: loyalty. No speeches, no medals pinned to his chest. Just a bear who carried what he could and reminded everyone around him how to keep going.
It's time to study new words in context. 1. Peculiar. Definition: something that is strange or unusual and not normal. Example: there was a peculiar smell in the room that no one could explain. 2. Fuzzier. Definition: having more soft hair or fur, not smooth or clear. Example: the baby bear looked fuzzier as it started to grow. 3. Curl up. Definition: to sit or lie in a small, rounded shape, often to feel warm or comfortable. Example: the cat curled up next to the fire and fell asleep. 4. Loophole. Definition: a small mistake or gap in a rule or law that allows someone to avoid it. Example: the company found a loophole in the law and did not have to pay the fee. 5. A serial number. Definition: a special number given to an item or person to identify them. Example: each soldier had a serial number to show who they were. 6. Crate. Definition: a large, strong box used for carrying or moving heavy things. Example: the workers lifted the crate onto the truck. 7. Flinching. Definition: making a quick, small movement because of fear, pain, or surprise. Example: she was not flinching even when the loud noise started. 8. Wear down. Definition: to slowly make someone or something tired, weak, or damaged. Example: the long journey began to wear down the soldiers. 9. Espionage. Definition: the act of secretly collecting information about another country or group. Example: the spy was arrested for espionage during the war. 10. Disbanded. Definition: when a group is officially ended and the members go their separate ways. Example: the army was disbanded after the war ended.
Comprehension questions. 1. Where and when was Wojtek first found? Answer: he was found in 1942 in Iran by Polish soldiers. 2. Why was Wojtek alone when the soldiers found him? Answer: his mother had been killed by hunters, leaving him orphaned. 3. How did the soldiers first feed Wojtek as a cub? Answer: they fed him condensed milk from a vodka bottle. 4. Name 2 human-like behaviors Wojtek learned from the soldiers. Answer: he learned to march and salute, also drank beer and chewed cigarettes. 5. Why did the soldiers decide to officially enlist Wojtek in the army? Answer: because military rules did not allow pets on transport ships. So they made him a soldier to bring him along. 6. What rank was Wojtek given when he was officially enlisted? Answer: he was first given the rank of private. 7. In which famous battle did Wojtek help carry ammunition? Answer: the Battle of Monte Cassino in 1944. 8. Approximately how heavy were the ammunition crates Wojtek carried? Answer: they weighed about 100 to 120 pounds. 9. How did Wojtek's strength compare to human soldiers during the battle? Answer: while it took 4 men to carry a crate, Wojtek could carry one by himself with ease. 10. What did Wojtek do that earned him a promotion? Answer: he helped carry heavy ammunition during the battle. 11. What rank was Wojtek promoted to after his service? Answer: he was promoted to corporal. 12. Describe the incident involving the spy in the camp. Answer: a spy hiding in a bathhouse screamed after encountering Wojtek, which alerted soldiers and led to his capture. 13. Why was Wojtek important to the soldiers beyond his physical help? Answer: he boosted morale, made them laugh, and gave them emotional comfort during the war. 14. Where did Wojtek go after World War II ended? Answer: he was taken to Scotland and later placed in the Edinburgh Zoo. 15. How did Wojtek respond to former soldiers visiting him at the zoo? Answer: he recognized them and reacted when they spoke Polish. 16. Why is Wojtek described as a veteran in exile? Answer: because he lived in the zoo away from his fellow soldiers, similar to how many Polish soldiers could not return home after the war. 17. How large did Wojtek grow later in life? Answer: he grew to about 1,100 pounds 500 kilograms and over 1.8 meters tall. 18. When did Wojtek die, and how old was he? Answer: he died in 1963 at the age of 21. 19. What symbol was used on the Polish unit's trucks in honor of Wojtek? Answer: a bear carrying an artillery shell. 20. What is the main message or theme of Wojtek's story? Answer: even in war, friendship, loyalty, and kindness can exist and make a difference.